Okay, so welcome everybody to tonight's region Zoom call. It is Sunday, the 19th of February, and brilliant to see all of you here tonight, taking time out of your busy schedule. And it's great because these Sunday night Zooms set you up for the week ahead, and it gets you in the right frame of mind. And you're going to be hearing from incredible leaders in our field, training and teaching you basically all the different skill sets that you need to bring in to utilize in your business on a daily basis. So by increasing your knowledge, increases your productivity, increases your results and your outcomes. So as that happens, your confidence will build to be able to grow a bigger, better, dynamic team and a business that will increase in the amount you earn, and the amount of people you can help along the way with your knowledge, invaluable knowledge in this business, the products, and how multi-level marketing, our industry and profession works in the wider world. Okay, so starting up first, we have an incredible leader. Love this lady to bits. She is in my heart. She's like me, a single mom. She has 2 boys. I have 2 girls, and is the amazing district manager, Sophie Alloway Reed. And she is training tonight for us on Eric Worre's skill set number 5 for all of us. So Sophie, handing over to you. Thank you, my lovely.
Hello, and yeah, thank you for having me on to do this training this evening. As you can see from the name tag on there, it actually comes up as Sylvia, but I assure you, Sophie. And so the skill set number 5 from the GoPro from Eric Worre. The title of this chapter, or this skill set, is turning your prospects into customers, distributors, or in our case, IC's consultants. So let me just get my notes. And okay, so ultimately this is what we're doing as ICs, as consultants, all the way through the business. We are educating, we are understanding the people, and we are turning our prospects in, let's say, hopefully or positively, we are changing them into customers or ICs and to join us in our businesses. So the part of this is in the closing of prospecting, and in that Eric Worre very much is concentrates on being emotionally detached from the outcome. So not taking it personally, not having the needy or worrying feelings towards whether they're going to come into the business, because nobody wants to be part of a needy person's business, let's be honest. So we want to give help to them, we want to give information, and we want to educate them on the business and on the products. Okay, so you go with intention, be prepared, and expect. Every network marketing professional will go and approach to any consultant prospects and go in with the expectation that they are going to join you, because we have the best opportunity. We know that. We have amazing sorry, I just missed my item here. Yeah, so we have amazing opportunity to give anybody and everybody, whether it be the products or whether it be the business or both, whatever way around you want to look at it. So as we were talking yesterday at leadership, I can't remember who it was that said it, but it stuck in my head. You don't go into a one-to-one. So for example, you don't go to Costa or any other coffee shop. You wouldn't go there and not buy yourself a coffee in meeting that person, in the thinking that, well, no really much point because it'll cost me a couple of quid and they're not going to join me anyway, so they'll probably just be there for a couple of minutes. You don't go in saying that. You go in with the intention that you are prepared, you have all the paperwork, you have everything with you for them to basically going to be signing on the dotted line with you that day. So, Arbonne, we all love it. So why wouldn't they want to join us? The opportunity is amazing. It's an incredible way for everybody to do something. And most importantly, when we go into this kind of meeting and we go into this closing in this skill set, you don't want to be, as it's very widely talked about, is vomiting Arbonne on people. Nobody wants to have that. So we don't want to be doing that. You want to go in there with, as a great listener, asking great questions, and sort of listening, really listening to what they're telling you, so you can give them back the information that they need. So you want to be able to relate to them. You want to be able to explain the opportunity, and you want to answer the questions right for them, to encourage them to think further into what they are looking at. So, referring to my notes, sorry. So discussing the opportunity, you want to ask things to them that are open-ended, things that you're going to get something for, something they're going to look at themselves. So you're going to look at questions like, did this make sense to you? What part did you like the best? This is really exciting, isn't it? Can you see how this opportunity could work for you? What you don't want to be saying is the things, for example, so what do you think? After giving all that information, because likely, I don't know about yourselves, but likely I've had it many a time when I've said that, and in a kind of panic, and they'll say, or, you know, not really give you any answer. So you want to encourage them to think about why you're asking these questions, and to give you information to be able to take the next step. So in the success, so yes, when you're talking about the opportunity, when you're talking about going forward with them, you want to give them the idea and excite them in the opportunity itself, and asking them what it is that they want from this opportunity, and also that they're not on their own. You're with them. You are there to mentor them, to train them, to guide them, to help them, but you're not there to do it for them. You're there to make them as an independent consultant as quickly as possible. But you are always there, whether that be in the business or whether that be in products. For us, in our business, we have our preferred clients. You are a preferred client. They're a preferred client to your business. So you are responsible in helping them and making sure they have everything that they need all the time. So I think one of Eric Worre's ideas on this is you earn to learn. So earning and learning, that's what we do all the time, all the way to the top from the beginning, whether you're an independent consultant, whether you're a national vice president. As we all know, we all consider ourselves still as independent consultants. You want to explain to them that you will match their efforts. So if they become a success, it's because of them, not because of something you've done. And ultimately, if they fail, then it's not for them. Then it's not something that it's not your responsibility, because they're independent. They just haven't put the work in that they are offered to do. So questions that hold on, let me just check. I've just written that down right. Okay, so yes, you want to listen to what they need. You're consulting them. You want to offer them solutions. You're relating again to them. You don't want to be asking them open questions towards the business. For example, do you fancy earning £10,000 a month? You don't want to be asking them that. So the four questions to ask in the closing, that's go along with this skill set. Number one, based on what you've seen, how much do you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? Number two, approximately how many hours each week could you commit to develop that kind of income? Number three, how many months could you work those hours in order to develop that income? And make sure when you're asking these, reminding them to be realistic. It's all very well you saying, oh, I'd like to earn, I don't know, £4,000 a month, but I can probably do about an hour a week. It's not going to happen. So you want to talk them through it and make sure that what they're telling you is realistic. And then finally, from those, what they've told you, you can then go on to asking them and saying the fourth and final question, if I could show you how to develop X income, whatever they've given you, per month, working X amount of hours, again, whatever they've given you, per week, over X amount of months, what their realistic numbers are, would you be ready to start today? If they're realistic, then they will give you realistic answers in more than likely in ready to get going. So if they say yes, they want to get going today, you have as I guess they would call closed the deal. But actually you've got them started, which is amazing. Something also that I know Fiona always says many a time to myself, if you're at a one-to-one and you're asking questions, you're getting answers and everything else people are saying to you, ask them the question on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself? 1 being you're not ready, it's not really your thing, and 10 being get me there, start right now on the dotted line. Anything on a 6, 7 plus, Fiona's idea is, let's go, they're in it, we're done. You can give them all the information they need, they just need something more to confirm that in their mind. If they're under that, they probably need more exposures. Perhaps invite them to a DA, so a Discover Arbon near you with yourself, with any team members, any of your uplines, sidelines, or invite them to a workshop or a party, or ask them if they'd host one. Because if they're not interested right now, they may be in the future. And as we all know, if you are introducing the business and you're not particularly getting anywhere, you don't want to force them, you don't want to push them to do it, which we all have done. More you want to encourage them, and they might want to try some of the products. And by having a party themselves, hosting it, seeing how easy and how accessible this business is, then that's probably when they'll jump in. So finally, I think I'm pretty much covering it all now. So going back to the yes, starting now, make sure the number one thing you do is validate their decision. I think we all do that anyway. And a personal experience for myself, my latest consultant, Liv, who I don't think is on, but when Liv started, I was genuinely excited for her to start. I was genuinely excited for her to do it. So I said to her, welcome to the team. I'm so excited that you're here. She came to leadership yesterday, absolutely blew her mind, as it did all of us, and explained to them exactly what you to do next. Have that there. So when I say at the beginning to be prepared, this is when you need to be prepared. So you need to have your clear steps of what you're doing, which we all have, we all give within our team anyway. They're all on the Google Drive, they're all on the pages, and I'm sure if you haven't got them, speak to Fiona or your upline and you'll get them straight away. Book launches there and then. See if you can get them to a DA, I think, because that's a massive thing for them to do, to see other people given the opportunity too. And then talk through the compensation plans, the things that are exciting them, the things that they want to do. And yes, I think that's pretty much, have I just covered that bit? Yes, talk through the Strong Start programs, the programs that push you forward, that give you the opportunity, and stick with them and help them all the way. But if you've got to that far, congratulations, you'll have your team members, and we all work together, and yeah, that's it. We'll see you at the top. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sophie. That was great. And for most of you on the call, I asked Sophie to do this sort of like yesterday afternoon. So didn't give her much warning, but as a true leader.
Can I say, I have spent all day today in a muddy park up until about 6 o'clock. So I just excuse this because I had to kind of pin it up and do whatever because I'm wearing old trackies and mud and stuff. So yes, I hope that made sense to everybody anyway.
Absolutely. And if you hadn't said that, I would never have known. I thought your hair was like a really like gorgeous funky style. All we can see the top. We can't see any of the you know, smelly, you can't smell your smelly tracksuit bottoms or see it. So all is forgiven, Sophie. Brilliant. If you start this at 6, you know, you totally nailed that. So, and I love the fact you brought in your own experience as well, because I think when you're learning from somebody who, you know, you're reading books, because that's what I said to say, Sophie, go online, you know, put in YouTube, Eric Worre Skill Set 5. If you have the book, review that chapter. But also putting what you're reading into your own like world as well. Make it you, make it part of what you're doing on a level, you know, a skill set of 1 to 10. Where do you see yourself? In fact, that question bleeds into not just my Arbon business, into my personal life. Like, if, you know, I'm just going to say something really funny here, but even my boyfriend, when he's drunk, I'll say, so on a level of 1 to 10, how drunk are you? And he'll say 6. I'm like, no, you're not, you're 10. But I won't say that. So it's a great question, by the way.
Yeah,
anyway.
absolutely, it does. And honestly, I do often think, and this, like in your life, everything, like where are you in your whatever? Okay, think 1 to 10. Okay, think where you are, and it works. It does work.
Yeah, it's simple, isn't it? There's no, 1 being little, by the way, you have to re-emphasize that. So 1's not a lot and 10's a lot, and it's just easy to gauge that because sometimes we say too many words. Get it back to basic, simplify it. Where are you? And it's easy to then gauge, are you middle of the road, less, more? And if you are middle, what can I do to help you to go further up the scale if you're open to that? So thank you. Great. Thank you very much, Sophie. Good job. Okay, so we are moving on to our product training. The gorgeous independent consultant Amy Davey, again, who was very kindly volunteered yesterday by me, and I know she's training on Genius Pads. So hand over to Amy. Please unmute yourself, and thank you, my love. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very nervous because this is the first time I've done any training. So I'm going to refer to my notes quite a bit as well, just because obviously it's my little security blanket. So yeah, I thought I would train on a product that I've used before and that I know and that I love. Well, I love all the products, but this one in particular, I really found a huge difference to my skin. Quick little side note, I've always had issues with my skin, or for the past 10 years or so, with a bit of scarring and uneven tone and that sort of thing. So this product has really, really made a huge difference, I've found, to my skin. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to be 10 minutes, but anyway, because I'll probably rattle through it too quickly. Okay, so the Arbonne Intelligence Genius Resurfacing Pads and Solution. The Genius Resurfacing Botanical Solution contains retinoids and used with the skin, resurfacing pads gently exfoliates to promote cell turnover at the skin's surface and brightens to help significantly reduce the look of dark spots and fine lines. Retinol is also known as vitamin A, and research has shown that the use of retinol has astounding benefits to the skin. It is an extremely transforming ingredient that seems to know just what your skin needs to help diminish visible signs of aging. Retinol can help visibly increase the appearance of firmness. We saw, for those of you who weren't at the training yesterday, I can't remember who it was, showed an amazing little video of this woman who used the Genius Pads, and just with a bit of the excess, she used to put it on one of her hands, just one of them. And after a year, she compared her 2 hands, and it was as though you were looking at, it could have been 2 different people. It was remarkable. The one that she had just quickly put just the leftovers, she just wiped it a couple of times before she threw the pad away. Her skin looked so much younger and firm, and she held it up and it bounced back so much quicker, and it looked gorgeous and just moisturized. But the hand that she hadn't used it on was a bit more wrinkly and looked like a bit older. So it was really, really shows you when you have 2 things to compare. It's because it's easy just to get used to what you see. You might notice difference, but if you're using it every day, until someone says, "Oh wow, it looks amazing," you kind of forget that your skin is changing so much. So it's really cool to see that comparison. That's why before and after photos are really important, I think. So back to retinoids. It can also diminish the look of fine lines and wrinkles and significantly improve uneven skin tone and smooth and refine the surface of the skin, including the pores. The retinoid solution, in combination with the resurfacing pads, removes the dead, rough layer of skin, which helps maximize the absorption of the remaining products in your night regime. So obviously removing all of that just makes it a lot easier for the other products just to get absorbed, really quickly. Nightly use reveals youthful, radiant, and luminous-looking skin. The soothing botanicals in the formula minimize the risk of irritation. Sorry, I'm just reading these points, so I hope it doesn't sound too boring. This amazing duo helped deliver dermatologist results and with an improved appearance of overall skin health without the irritation caused by harsh chemical peels and other retinol products. The product is also dermatologist tested and of course gluten-free, which is great. So the other key ingredients and benefits, one of them is phytonol, and this helps promote the appearance of improved skin tone and surface smoothness, which helps deliver, again, an even and less lined look. I hope I'm saying some of these right. Mandelic acid. This encourages surface cell turnover, which results in an even toned skin appearance. So you notice a bit of a theme here. And this one, I had to actually Google how you pronounce this, but Bisabolo. This is the part of the chamomile plant, so obviously it has a lovely calming effect on the skin. So that's basic ingredients and benefits of each ingredient. I don't know if any of you on the call haven't used this product before. First of all, you really should. But just how to use it, just a quick simple. It comes in a container with the pads and then the solution. There's 60 pads, so 2 months supply. So you pour the whole solution into the container with the pads. Often a good trick is to actually store it upside down so that you really make sure all the solution really soaks in and saturates the pads. Once you've cleansed your face, pat dry, and then you just take one of the pads and just upwards and outwards motion on the face all over your face, and then either just rub it on your hand, or I just used to rub the excess on my neck before throwing it away. So you need to use every last drop. And then obviously you just carry on using your other products. Now that you've previously mentioned cleaned all the dead skin away, your face is prepared and ready for the rest of the beautiful R1 products. The texture and moisture of your skin is really, really improved with this product. And a lot of people I've watched quite a few videos, and obviously I've heard quite a few testimonials from people who've used it, obviously myself included, that you actually notice a difference sometimes in as little as 24 hours. So it's really powerful. And yeah, I mean, those are the main points that I found were really helpful, and just something you can quite easily say to someone who's kind of interested in it, or you can see who would really benefit from them. And just another really great product just to inject and really into your regime, and just to give your skin that boost and even it out, and get those fine lines away. And actually, one of the videos said that it can be used from the age of about 12. So kids who are struggling with bad skin, it can also, I wouldn't say every night probably, but they say, they advise that you can actually use them with kids from the age of 12. So I thought that was quite interesting, because I didn't know that before. But that's a bit shorter than 10 minutes.
No,
Sorry,
that's
Fiona,
great.
but I hope that's okay.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Amy. Really appreciate that, because it's not easy to always train on products, because it's quite factual training.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can see you did your research, and it's not one of these talk from the heart, and you just literally are showing the key benefits, why you need to use this, what it does, features and benefits. So that was great. Thank you. And I can see that you what was that question there about using it every day? Somebody just popped up there. Whoever that was, do you want to unmute yourself and ask? I missed that question.
It said, do you use this every day, or is there a time period?
Yeah, like, do you use it? I know it's there's a certain number of pads that you use. So do you use those pads and then finish, or do you just keep using it every day, once a day?
Well, you use one pad per application, so you pour the whole solution into it, so it should last you 2 months. Yeah. And I think Nikki actually said something in the training yesterday, that you should use it for 2 months and then maybe wait a month or two and then use again, obviously depending on your skin, and how big of an improvement you see. I don't know if Nikki wants to interject with that, because I wasn't actually sure, but I've used it for 2 months, then I take a break and then use it again. But I think you can use it every evening if you want. I don't think there's any harm in it. Nikki?
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I've heard you need a little break from it, and also you need to be careful in the sun. You can't use genius pads in the sun.
Well, there you go.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Do I unmute myself? Thank you for asking me.
Oh, you're so welcome, Amy. That was great. I hope what's so good is that you get to sort of just remind yourself and refresh yourself, and to know that this is the world's first botanical retinoid. That product that's out there, that's really important. And when they launched the Genius, the amount of pads, if you put them on the line from London, like literally touching each other, it would reach surpassed Birmingham in the last 6 months is the amount of sales we did. So this product jumped from being brand new in our market to being number 2 behind the anti-aging, the gold range, in 6 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
So the results were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, hence the Intelligence Genius range as well. So that was lovely. Thank you, Amy. Much appreciated.
You're welcome. Bye.
Cool. Everybody's clapping. I love it. Okay, so if you can mute yourself. Thank you, darling. Okay, we have our last but not least speaker of tonight. She's our guest speaker, so I've nicked her from Daddy's team. This is one incredible, amazing lady. So for everyone on the call who was at the Leadership Academy yesterday, Natalie promoted to area manager last month and trained on stage. And her title was What the Hecky? What the hecky? I mean, really, what the hecky? And I know that she will touch on that because this lady, I love her for the fact that she speaks from her heart. She has a little bit of a guide and then the rest takes over. And she's an incredible woman with much on her plate and much to come. I know that. So I'm going to not hold off anymore and welcome the gorgeous Natalie Crawford. Thank you, Natalie.
Oh, thank you so much, Fiona. That's so, so kind. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, sorry, there seems to be a bit of delay on my iPad, so I was sort of panicking that you couldn't hear me, so that's fine. So just so that you all know that I am Natalie Crawford, independent consultant with Arbonne and also area manager. And Fiona's kindly asked me to talk on mindset this evening. But just quickly going back to what the hecky, this actually came from my daughter. She was watching me on the iPad after I'd had it on, that I'd uploaded a video earlier on that morning, and it was still open, and she'd noticed me on the iPad, and she kind of just saw me and she was looking at the iPad and looking at me, and to her this is like TV, so she just thought that her mummy was this famous person on the telly, and yeah, she just looked at me and she just went, what the hecky? And it was just hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And we just continue to laugh about this daily, and we do say it daily. And what I was trying to get across is that you know, this what the hecky happens in our day-to-day life. Things crop up all the time, you know, and we're sort of left feeling like, why me? Why is this happening to me? You know, and it happens, and it's our journey, and just embrace it. And we say this daily now, we make a joke of it, and we turn something that can be quite negative in our mindset into more of a positive outlook, in thinking, you know, what the hecky, you know, who cares, it's gonna happen, let's just get over it, move on. And you know, that was kind of where I was going with my training yesterday. But mindset really for me has been a big thing, because considering my mindset when I first started Arbonne to my mindset now, it's completely different. When I started Arbonne initially, I started Arbonne for a couple of reasons, and one of the biggest reasons was because my mum got diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was currently using, I mean, this was about 4 years ago prior to using Arbonne. So I was using products that didn't contain the parabens, the chemicals, the toxins. So I was very aware of all of that anyway. So for me, it was just a perfect fit to incorporate Arbonne, because I was just shifting my expenditure from all over the place and Amazon and health shops and things straight into under one roof, and I could earn on it. And so for me, that was how I sort of started. But one of the other things was I'm a makeup artist by trade, and I'd lost my confidence massively within that, because the products that I obviously was using before finding out about all the ingredients and the toxins and the chemicals was you know, your department stores and things like that, and the good reputable brands that people think they are. And obviously when I found out about ingredients and what you should and shouldn't be using, I lost my faith and my trust in doing my job, because I wouldn't put that on my skin, so I wasn't prepared to put it on somebody else's skin and get paid for it, when in my head I had in my head that I was killing them by doing that, you know. So I lost complete trust in what I was doing, so held myself right back. So Arbonne for me was getting me back to where I needed to be within that trust of a product, that love for a product when you're using it and sharing it. That was great for me, and my mindset then, and obviously it was the more money, the more car, you know, the new car, and it was all the glamour and the excitement of it all. And I went flying in, straight in there, and you know, was absolutely loving it. Danny helped me. I was doing my launches, and I was screaming about Arbonne, vomiting it everywhere to every person I spoke to. And yeah, and then I went straight into district qualification in my first week, qualified out of district by the end of the month, and then was just like, okay, so what do I do now? Keep going. So I was keep going, and then I went into area qual, and when I went into area qual, I was able and lucky enough to go to area retreat. And this is where I realised my mindset had to change, because when I went to area retreat, I remember sitting there and I was witnessing these amazing speakers in front of me, and I just thought, do you know what, you are incredible, you're like on another level, and I'm so grateful to be here, and I loved it. I was looking at them thinking, you're amazing, but I am never ever gonna be like you. It's just not gonna happen. And then when I got home, I realized, after I love to reflect. I say this all the time. I do love to reflect, because it does sort of help me. My head's so crazy sometimes, and my life is equally as crazy, with 3 children, husband working away. So reflecting is really important for me, because it gives me time to just take in, feel the moment, and just embrace what's going on. And I remember thinking, I am no different from those people. It's in here that's different from those people. So that was a bit of a massive shift for me, and I wasn't doing the personal development. I wasn't reading because I didn't have time to read, and I just thought something's got to massively change. So I decided that I would take on the personal development. And another thing that really was a big mindset change for me was I was realising that I was living still a lot in the past, and I was thinking too much far in advance in the future, which obviously I know when we start this business and when we aim for a goal and things, we always have the end goal in sight, which I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing, but for me, I was living too far that way. And when you're sort of aiming and striving for too much in the future, and you're torn quite far back, say you're up here in energy, I was missing so much on the ground that was around me, and the opportunities that I could have had, and people that were around me that needed help, and just living in that here and now. I was missing that completely. And that for me was a mindset change that I needed to embrace and embark. I needed to realise and be more present in the moment that I was in. So not only that was obviously a big thing, the affirmation side of it, I realised that I needed to be putting out there what I wanted. I realised that I was putting out too much negativity because I was living too much in the past, and too much, you know, I wasn't living for the here and the now. So got my affirmations sorted massively. So I simply started off, and I still keep it, even though these aren't relevant to me now. I literally made it all pretty and pink and gorgeous and put it in a frame. And these were just affirmations that were important to me at that point. And some of them are still important to me. But at the time, it was things like, I am enough, I'm coachable, I am loved, I'm healthy, I'm superior to negative thoughts and low actions, I'm the architect of my life, I am forgiving, I am a good mother, wife, daughter, sister, granddaughter, and friend, I am passionate, I'm courageous, I'm confident, I am calm and I radiate charm and grace, I'm a gift to people I haven't even met yet, I'm a magnet for money, prosperity is drawn to me, I use clarity and achieve all my goals, I am an EMVP. So that's just something, and that's where I started. So that was my little affirmation board that I would say sort of every morning. I'd scream it out. And then whilst doing that and taking on the personal development, I saw myself starting to move. So my worth was changing about myself. What I was feeling for myself was starting to shift, but still not enough for me. I was still living in the past quite a bit. So I realised I had to address it. So the way for me I had to address it, I decided to make the investment, not that I could really afford it, but I decided, and it's like Fiona, I absolutely love it when she says, stake in the ground, you make that commitment, you decide that is what you are going to do. And I decided that I wanted to move forward, and I wanted to leave the past and just focus on now and what's around me and the people that are around me, the environment that I'm in. So I decided to get a mentor and committed, I'd say, 2 to 3 hours a week with the mentor. And that has been the biggest change in my mindset, because I connected with someone quite spiritual. I'm quite a spiritual person, and we just fit, and he brings out the best in me massively, and he's worked on areas that he knew and he could tell that needed to work on. So my mindset now has completely changed. I don't live in the past, I don't live in the future, I concentrate on the here and now. And even when I'm striving for when I was striving for area manager, because I've obviously completed now as area manager, in that period of time, I know Danny said to me, right, you need your 14,000 this month to go into area. And I was thinking, oh my goodness me, I thought it was only 10. And I was thinking, right, what am I going to do? How am I going to get an extra 4,000 QB? How is that going to happen? So obviously lots of people say, stick it on every door, have this QV in your face everywhere, walking up the stairs, on every cupboard door, every mirror, toilet seat, and I just thought, that's what you're meant to do, but that doesn't work for me. So I think as well, with your mindset, you need to channel in to you and what's important to you and the way you respond and act to things. And the way I respond and act to things the best is living in the present moment. So what I decided to do was forget the 14,000 QV. I decided at the beginning of the month I was completing anyway. So I stake in the ground, like Fiona says, that stake was there, and I made that decision, I was doing it. I'd made the decision I was doing it the day before the last day of the month, so that I could focus all my energy on my other 2 consultants that were also completing their district manager title that month. And we were having a month-end madness at mine. So I'd made that decision. I was completing anyway, come what may. So because I had that in my head, I didn't worry about the figure and how I was going to get there. Every single day, I just lived for the moment that I was in. I was aware of everything around me, people that I was meeting on that particular day, I was aware of, and I was able to act on it properly. And almost like when you have a drink and you're kind of there, but you're not there because the alcohol's taken over. It was kind of like I'd removed that alcohol, and every single day I was living in that day, in that moment. And I could feel everybody, and I could see everybody and see all the opportunities around me. And that was my mindset change. I was living and tuning in to me, and that was the way that I I respond to things the best. So every single day, I just did what I needed to do. I was in major activity, which when you're obviously going for your goals, you have to be in. So I knew that that was what I had to do, and I was just doing the do every single day. And because of that, I think that had a massive impact on everybody else, because they knew that I was channeling into myself, and they knew that I was just doing what I needed to do for me, and my mindset was there. It wasn't there and it wasn't there. It was here, right now. So I think because of that, you know, everything just was coming to me. You know, I was doing my affirmations in the morning, I was meditating, I was having good night's sleep as much as I could. Obviously, sometimes I'd be up late putting orders in, but as much as I could, I was there. And for me, really, I mean, by the end of the month, I got into area. I'd wanted to do it on the last day of the month was the Wednesday. I wanted to do it on the Tuesday. I ended up doing on the Sunday. And by the end of the month, instead of the 14,000 QV that Danny was like, you need to get, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to get an extra 4? I'd ended up on something like I think it was nearly 18,000 QV by the end of the month, which for me, that was incredible. Like, honestly, I was thinking, I'd literally gone into area qual scraping over the 10. Like, just, I think I was about 100 QV over 10,000. So then when obviously she said about the 4,000 extra that I needed, I was thinking, it's not how am I going to do that? But I just knew that I would. And I think because I lived for the moment that I was in every single day, didn't focus on the QV, embraced who was around me, was talking to people because I wanted to talk to people, not because I was thinking, I need to get the QV, I've got this much, marking it off. I couldn't do that, and it just doesn't work for me. So I think mindset, not only is it, you know, you've got to know what works for you, and you've got to understand how you work. That for me is a big part of mindset, not just the books and the shifts that you have by reading the books and things. It's knowing you and what works for you, channeling into you and realizing your strengths and your weaknesses and working with that as well, because that helps you have your own mindset shift. So that's really basically what happened. And I just, again, now, because I know that works and I've been living proof of that through getting to area, I just do that every single day now. I live for the day that I'm in. I don't focus on tomorrow. I don't focus on yesterday. However, I do like to reflect on the day before, but I do it and then it's done. And then I concentrate on where I am. And yeah, massive gratitude as well. I think I have a gratitude diary. I don't know if anybody else does. If you don't, I would recommend that you do get one, because I think that is a massive thing. When I reflect in the evening, and it usually is in the evening, because the minute I wake up in the morning, I do my meditation, and obviously, you know, I'm straight on, wake up with Natalie, doing my do, and then I've got the kids, and then school run, and then tea, and then it's just continuous. So my best area of reflection where I can really focus and tune in is at night time, when the children are in bed, I'm in bed, I'm relaxed, I'm calm. That's when I can do it to work for me, really. So I think get your gratitude journal, and just, even if you're grateful for 2 things in that day, 2 things, it just makes you realize, you know, what in that day you have. So the day you wake up the day after, you can just channel into it and just realize what you are grateful for on a daily basis. It can be something simple, or it can be a person that you're grateful for. Someone might have done something really nice and, you know, you're really grateful for that. But even just the simple things that you can wake up on that day and just embrace and feel it, and it will just help you channel into you, really. So, and again, it for me, it does boil down to passion and living from your heart. I think that for me, to live from your heart gets you where you want to be. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful to you, and I hope you've been able to gauge something from that. Sometimes I always think, because I do talk from my heart and I do sort of have my own lingo and have my own language, and sometimes I think, oh, I hope that comes across okay. So if you've got any questions, then I'm quite happy to answer anything that you would like.
Well, do you know what, Natalie? That was absolutely incredible. Look, Rebecca's saying, great training, Natalie, thank you. And I know that you are a lady who talks from her heart, and I love that. That was awesome, says Leslie. Everybody's so appreciative. Thank you so, so much for taking time out and coming on our Zoom call and just sharing. Thank you from Nikki. All your experience and your expertise and your heart and your journey and your story. And it's incredible, isn't it, when you focus on every single day and there's no negativity, you're just doing the do and knowing you're going to do it, even though sometimes outward appearances may not appear where you want it to be. It's not about that. It's about focusing on the now and doing the do, the activity, you know, and not the outcome. I think too many people focus on the outcome rather than the activity, but you know, by doing the activity you will achieve the outcome, but not to get confused with that, you know, especially when you're going for a promotion like you were, and rather than seeing it as like something like so big, it's almost like too far out there, just saying, you know what, I've got this. It's, you know, I own this. It's mine.
Definitely. And I think as well, sometimes another thing that I didn't really mention was, obviously we have that many Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups and things like that. I mean, when I was going through that area of promotion, I did have to remove myself a bit from it, because sometimes we can get so caught up in the phone going off all the time, you know, everyone's talking about this, that and the other, and I think that is amazing, it really, really is. But I mean, look, that's all Facebook groups at the moment that I've got going on here, you know, and they can be a bit of a distraction sometimes. So unless it's something that you physically need at that time when you're going through that promotion, I would try and hang back off it a little bit, so you can really focus on what's important and where you're going at that point. Because whilst they are amazing, sometimes it can really bog you down a bit. Well, it can be anyway.
I think you're absolutely right, because that, you know, it's that bite-sized chunks, and I think you're right. I think you have to prioritize what is income producing activity for you, or what is just pleasing others. And as much as we all like to do the Facebook and, you know, make ourselves, you know, like be active in that sense, it's not unless it's going to be an outcome, there's going to be an end result for that, then otherwise you're getting, it's just a mix here, and you think you're doing it, but you're not. You're just you know, sort of like almost pleasing everybody else, but that's not going to get you to area manager or district or wherever you are right now in the team to where you want to go. So no, thank you for pointing that out. I really appreciate that. And it's and everybody understands that too, you know, at the end of the day. See, I didn't have these distractions, you know, going district, area or region. You know, there was no Facebook when I started, so there was none of this needing to feel like I had to, you know, sort of keep up my appearances and you know, there was no distractions. So I just got to focus, and it's like light, iridescent light is all around us, but when you focus light, what happens, it becomes a laser beam, and that cuts through steel. And that's the power of your mind and the power of your thought. By focusing through on that, you're gonna get to your desire. So Natalie, you rock, girlfriend. You're gonna be a region very soon. I know that. I do know that. So watch the space, everybody. Thank you so much.
I'll just share one last thing that I did use as well, and I think this is really beautiful. And it's a quote that I just absolutely love, and it's, "I'm ready to learn through love. I surrender to God and the universe." And I used to say that daily, and basically that's just channeling into love and loving others and receiving love back, and just putting your trust. I mean, you don't have to be spiritual. You could rub the God out if you're not that way inclined. Just have, I surrender to the universe. And it's just trusting that it's going to happen. Whatever you want in life is going to happen, providing that you do it through love and you trust.
Say to that, amen. Which is true. Okay, so thank you, my darling. Thank you, everybody, again for coming on tonight's call. I will post this, and really looking forward to our next training, Nikki Marchant. I know you're running that. So once again, lots of love to you all. Thank you, incredible leaders tonight. That's District Manager Sophie Annabay-Reid. Thank you so much. Thank you for Amy Davey for your wonderful Genius Intelligence Pads training. And thank you to Area Manager Natalie Crawford. Mwah. Good night, everybody.